So our readings today are about money, actually. All of them are about money, which is an awkward kind of a topic to preach about because it's something I don't like. I'm not a big fan of money. I don't like it. I think it's dangerous stuff. But we'll look into that in a sec. A good couple of years ago now, about 15 years ago, I did a mission in a place called San Remo. It's in the north of Italy. So I had to fly into Nice and then drive across to San Remo. And driving across San Remo, you're driving on the Côte d'Azur. Excuse the pronunciation, that's how we say it in English. The Côte d'Azur, the Côte d'Azur. Yeah, the blue coast. So it's exceptionally scenic. It's really, really, really beautiful. And then we passed through Monaco. So we thought we'd stop off in Monaco. We had a bit of time to kill, so we dropped off in Monaco. And so you go into the harbour there, and it's super yacht, super yacht, super yacht, super yacht, mega yacht, mega yacht, mega yacht, multi-trillionaire yacht. They just get it just absolutely ginormous. And exceptionally expensive, and always in the harbour, never actually getting used. And then we went to Monte Carlo, then this famous hotel for the rich and famous, and of course parked outside it, it's Lamborghinis and Ferraris and Bentleys and tuned Mercs and all that kind of thing. All right, okay. So it was interesting. It was interesting to see, because this is the kind of stuff you see on movies. In reality, though, when you see these things in reality, I really wasn't impressed. I really, really wasn't impressed. As in, I do like cars. I always was a kind of a car fan, so like to see Lamborghinis and Ferraris in reality is quite impressive, especially when you hear them, just the sound of a V10. Oh my goodness, they are amazing. But that aside, it's just, I don't know, I just found it all a bit kind of fake. You've got these, and this isn't judging the people involved now at all, but it's just like the idea behind all of this is this makes you happy. There you go. Got your super yacht, got your super car, got your super girlfriend 50 years younger than you, all good. That's it. And then that you have it made. And I just thought, I actually don't believe that. No, I don't. I don't believe that for a second. I really don't. And the reason I don't believe that is because when you pay attention to people, when you look at people, when you live with people, when you love people, when you know people's hearts, and especially when you've seen people who suffer, you realize then how absolutely fake and useless all that kind of lifestyle is. It really is. Say you're a multimillionaire and all good, and you come back home and you discover now that your husband or your wife has now been unfaithful. This person that you loved and cherished and held dear and trusted has now been unfaithful. No amount of money in the world can fix that for you. And there you are with a broken heart, and you can sit down on your plush leather couch and drink your really expensive wine and sit in your super expensive car, and it will not change nor help in any way, shape or form your broken heart. It won't. It won't. Because we're made for so much more than just all this external pleasure in that, And then, on the other hand, I've met families who were, I suppose, relatively speaking, relative to us in Ireland, you'd consider them quite poor. And but then you go into the house, right, and you've all these smiling kids, and you've got the mom there baking bread, and the dad who comes in wrecked because he's been working, doing whatever, and he comes in, and then the kids run over and say, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy!" They grab onto his legs. He goes, "All right, guys. Okay, how much time do we have for dinner?" And they say 20 minutes. All right, so we go out for a bit of kick around, or a bit of puck a few balls and play a bit of sport together, whatever it is. And they come back in all sweaty and stinking of grass and sit down at the table, and there's kind of a pong of body odor, but such an atmosphere of family that millions couldn't buy. You can't make this. You can't buy this. You can't manufacture this. This is the fruit of a loving heart. So, then you go back then to the lives of the rich and the famous and all that kind of thing, and it's just, whether you're loaded or whether you're poor, all of us are longing for the same thing. We just want to be loved and to be loved. To be loved and to love. And I would even argue that having more money makes that harder, because people will love you because of your money, not because of you. So it's a very interesting topic to reflect on. Also, I've known some, politically speaking, I don't want to really get into politics, but look, I've started, so I'll finish. But when it comes to politics, when it comes to kind of a socialist idea, the socialist idea is often that the rich are bad, and we should kind of elevate the common man and help them to be all they can be. Okay, but it's not that simple, and nor is that a Christian perspective on things at all. I know a number of wealthy business people, and the reason they're wealthy is because they went to school every day. They worked hard. They studied hard. They went to college, and maybe they had to work in a coffee shop or something, pay their way through college. They got a good job. They proved that they were responsible. They made responsible decisions. They got promoted. Then they start a business on their own. They make good decisions and invest their money wisely, and then they're able to give employment. And I'm actually, as I'm saying this, I'm speaking about a particular man that I know, who started, I won't mention it because all of that, I won't mention the name of the company, but he started a company which is now, it's international, they're involved in food, produce and buying and selling, and they employ, I don't know, must be 5,000-6,000 people easily. So 5,000 or 6,000 people have now benefited from this man's astuteness. He's good with money. He just knows how the business thing works. He's also, incidentally, very generous to the local church and has paid for a grotto and the restoration of the church and all sorts of things. Is he bad because he's rich? No, he's helping all sorts of families. And he's even assisting the Lord. I mean, he's a man of prayer, and his wife is definitely a woman of prayer. On the other hand, we can be poor because we're irresponsible with money. We get our money and we blow it on drink, we blow it on Saturday night, and we blow it on a new phone, TV, whatever it is, and we've no money because we keep spending it. So it's too simple an idea that the rich are bad and the poor are good. That's not the way it works. In reality, that's not the way it works. And also this idea then that if the rich are rich and have lots of money, then we should take their money and give it to the poor, and then everybody will be happy. That's not a Christian understanding of economics either. Because the Christian understanding of how these things work is that if the poor are poor, then I should help them. Me. Not take from the rich and give it to them. I should help them. That's a Christian understanding. That I serve in love. Me. It starts with me. Because it's too easy to sit on the couch and say, they're rich, give them, move that money there, and then there. That's not reality. Like, if the poor are in need, who should help them? Me. That's who should help them. And then if a person works hard and works honestly and gives employment to a lot of people, what is the problem? He's done a good thing. And if he loves the Lord and serves the Lord and helps the local church, then there isn't a problem there. So as Jesus says, I tell you this, the man who can be trusted in little things can be trusted in great. If you can be trusted with money, which is a stupid thing, it's kind of necessary to pay for the bills and pay for the food, but if you can be trusted with this, with money, which gives us a certain amount of power, if you can be trusted with that, then you can be trusted with important things, like when we share God's own nature. We can be trusted with that if we can be trusted with a stupid thing like money. If you cannot be trusted with money, that tainted thing, who will trust you with genuine riches? If you cannot be trusted with what is not yours, who will give you what is your very own? What does this mean? What is our very own? God wants us to share in his nature, to be like him, to be more like God in heaven. What that exactly means, we don't really know. But if we had more kind of God-like power, what would you do with it? Could you be trusted with it? Because if you can't be trusted with the limited power that you have here, the limited money that you have here, the limited, good looks or influence or athletic ability, if you can't be trusted with those here, how could you be trusted with God's power? Whereas, phrase it positively, if I can be trusted that my money is given to me to help and to serve and to build up God's kingdom whatever way I can, and my influence, maybe I have a magnetic personality, people like being with me, good, use that for God. Or use that to influence people for good. I've told this story 100 times, but remember when we were doing a light or night fever in Waterford. So it's an event that we run at night time when people are going to the pub, so like maybe from 7 o'clock until about 10, and you invite all the passers-by into the church to light a candle. It's very simple. It's a very simple invitation. Do you want to come into the church and light a candle? There isn't time to go into deep theology. You just keep it simple. Do you want to come into the church and light a candle? And when they come in, then the Blessed Sacrament is exposed, and there are maybe priests there hearing confession. So the person comes in, and now they're in a prayer environment, the opportunity for confession. So it's a kind of a soft approach to mission. Good. But what's really interesting is to see then how some of the girls would use their eyelashes and swinging necks, whatever it is they do, right? To go over to a bunch of guys and go, "Hey guys, do you want to light a candle in the church?" And the lads be like, "Oh yeah, are you going to be there?" "Sure." And then she'll walk on, and she'll walk into the church, and there'll be a stream of 10 lads behind her, you know? And like, is that being bad? No, it's not. It's not. It's just, you know, I mean, you're using the fact that you have influence over people, use it for good. Use it for good. So anything, everything can be used for good. What a gift. So the Lord tells us today to use money not just for our own pleasure, not just for our own entertainment, but to use money for the building up of God's kingdom. And if we can be trusted with a little, we can be trusted with a lot. If the Lord can trust us with money, he can trust us with far more important things. So we ask the Lord today to help us to use all of the resources that we have, not just for ourselves, but always for him. Amen.